Once upon a time, in a picturesque village nestled amidst rolling hills and babbling brooks, there lived a mischievous young boy named Jack. With a head full of wild ideas and a heart full of adventure, Jack often found himself seeking amusement in the form of pranks and tricks. His imagination knew no bounds, and his mischievous nature was renowned throughout the village. One sunny morning, as the village bustled with activity, Jack found himself standing atop a grassy hillside that overlooked the quaint homes and bustling streets below. A mischievous grin tugged at his lips as an idea formed in his mind. "I shall play a prank that will teach everyone a valuable lesson," he thought mischievously. Taking a deep breath, Jack cupped his hands around his mouth and shouted with all his might, "Wolf! Wolf! Help! There's a ferocious wolf!" Hearing the urgency in Jack's cries, the villagers dropped their tools, abandoned their tasks, and rushed to his aid. Farmers left their fields untended, shopkeepers closed their stores, and mothers left their homes, their hearts pounding with worry for the safety of their village. But when the villagers reached the hillside, they found no trace of a wolf. Instead, they discovered Jack, doubled over in laughter, reveling in his successful prank. Confusion and annoyance furrowed the brows of the villagers as they realized they had been tricked. "Jack! This is no laughing matter," scolded old Thomas, the village elder, his voice laced with disappointment. "You must not joke about something as serious as a wolf attack. You could have caused a panic or put lives in danger." The villagers echoed old Thomas's sentiment, their voices filled with stern reproach. Jack's cheeks flushed with embarrassment as he listened to their scolding. Deep down, he knew they were right. He had let his mischievous nature get the better of him, failing to consider the consequences of his actions. Days turned into weeks, and the village returned to its peaceful rhythm. However, the memory of Jack's prank lingered, serving as a reminder of the importance of honesty and responsibility. Jack, too, learned from his mistake and promised himself that he would mend his mischievous ways. But the lure of mischief proved hard to resist. One day, the mischievous imp within Jack once again took hold of his thoughts. He found himself drawn to the same hillside, where the memory of his previous prank still lingered. The sun danced in the sky as Jack hatched a plan to play yet another trick on the unsuspecting villagers. With a mischievous glint in his eye, Jack took a deep breath and shouted, "Wolf! Wolf! Help! There's a ferocious wolf!" Once again, the villagers heard Jack's cries, their hearts filled with concern for the safety of their village. Fearful of another potential wolf attack, they dropped what they were doing and hurriedly gathered their belongings. They armed themselves with tools and weapons, ready to protect their loved ones and their homes. But as they reached the hillside, their worried faces turned to dismay. There stood Jack, his laughter reverberating through the air. The villagers' disappointment was palpable, and anger simmered beneath their forced smiles. "Jack, enough is enough!" exclaimed Martha, the village baker, her voice tinged with exasperation. "Your pranks have caused enough trouble and worry. It's time to learn the value of honesty and the consequences of your actions." The villagers collectively decided that Jack needed a lesson he would never forget. They resolved to ignore his pranks in the future, no matter how convincing they might seem. It was time for Jack to realize that trust, once broken, is not easily regained. Days turned into months, and Jack's pranks continued to fall on deaf ears. His laughter no longer elicited a response, and his attempts at mischief went unnoticed. Jack began to feel the weight of his actions, the gravity of his deceit sinking deep within his heart. And then, one fateful day, as the sun cast a golden glow over the village, a shadow fell across Jack's face. Startled, he looked up and saw a pair of fierce eyes staring back at him. It was a real wolf, its sleek fur rippling with each powerful movement. Fear gripped Jack's heart as he realized the grave danger he was in. His mischievous pranks had left him vulnerable and without help. Trembling, he mustered all his strength and shouted, "Wolf! Wolf! Help me, please!" But this time, the villagers, weary of Jack's tricks, chose not to respond. They remembered the false alarms, the unnecessary panic, and the worry that had gripped their hearts. They had learned the importance of discerning truth from deceit, and they chose to be cautious. As the wolf closed in on Jack, his pleas for help went unanswered. The villagers, consumed by their resolve, remained silent, their hearts heavy with regret. The consequences of his actions became painfully clear as the wolf's jaws closed around him, leaving Jack to face the consequences of his deception alone. The villagers, horrified by what they had witnessed, came running when they finally realized the danger was real. But their attempts to save Jack were in vain. The boy who had cried wolf had learned his lesson in the most unfortunate and heart-wrenching way. From that day forward, the village became a place of solemn reflection. Jack's tale served as a powerful reminder of the importance of honesty, responsibility, and the consequences of our actions. The villagers carried the lessons they had learned within their hearts, teaching future generations about the value of trust and the weight of deception. The tale of the boy who cried wolf became a cautionary tale, echoing through the ages, teaching us all that our words hold power and that honesty is the foundation of trust. May we remember Jack's story and strive to be truthful and responsible in our actions, for the consequences of deception can be far-reaching and irreparable.